Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we do have some proclamations tonight. Before we start, I just want to go over two things I mentioned in the CAL. This is our first meeting back live. In around 2 years, we did have 2 live meetings in August of last year, but it's up to almost 2 years of virtual meetings, and we're very happy to be back live and in person as the meetings were before. COVID took its toll in Hackensack. We had, out of a population of between 45 and 50,000 people, we had 10,418 citizens in Hackensack contract COVID, and we had 199 deaths. The numbers are down. Today in the city of Hackensack, we only had 1 new COVID case, which was good news, but it's been in single digits now for the last, I'd say, 30 days or more, which is good. It seems like it's heading back down and things are getting back to normal. We're praying that it stays like that. The other thing on our minds right now are the people in Ukraine who are suffering tremendously from this horrible war they're going through, on this unprovoked attack by Russia. And I feel really bad for those people. So let's have a moment of silence for both the folks that we lost to COVID and the folks in Ukraine. Thank you. And on a happier note, today is International Women's Day, and it is also Women's History Month. So I have a proclamation. I have 2 proclamations tonight, actually. We're going to do Women's History Month first. And it reads, whereas during Women's History Month, we celebrate the countless women whose courage and resolve have contributed to the character and success of our nation and the entire world. And whereas women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role by providing a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home, and whereas women have been leaders, not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but in upholding movements such as civil rights, emancipation, abolition, and labor unions for liberty, freedom, and justice for all. Whereas women were particularly important in the establishment of early, charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions to promote the welfare of others and by providing the majority of the volunteers. And whereas women continue to strengthen and enrich our society by helping children to recognize the value of learning, as well as the importance of self-respect, personal responsibility, and respect and concern for others. Now therefore, I, John LaBrosse, Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with members of the City Council, do hereby recognize March as Women's History Month. So to all you ladies out there, congratulations. Women have come so far. It's amazing. I find myself really appreciating every facet of what women have been able to accomplish. But even in sports, in government, you guys, Deputy Mayor, we have our councilwoman here, done a great job, and many of you out there have been successful people as well. And can't imagine what the world would be like without us. So thank you, ladies. And our other proclamation is, reads as, whereas Congress designated the 3rd week in March to be National Poison Prevention Week, NPPW, in 1961 to help raise awareness of the dangers of poisonous medicines, household chemicals, and other substances. And whereas poison centers will focus the public's attention on identifying poisoning hazards and prevention as all people and even pets are at risk. And whereas most of all reported poison exposures involve children 5 years old and younger. The majority of poisoning deaths occur in adults aged 20 to 59. And whereas the New Jersey Poison Information and Education System, NJPIES, provides free, expert medical advice, drug information, and poison prevention education to New Jersey residents through the 800-222-1222 Poison Help Hotline, or chat njpies.org. And whereas we encourage all residents to program the hotline number into their phones because a rapid response can make a difference in preventing serious injury and saving lives. Now therefore, I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of March 20th through 26th, 2022 as National Poison Prevention Week in the City of Hackensack. So thank you for that. And yeah, it's very important to keep those, especially away from the youngsters and your pets as well. I had an incident in my own home a little over a year ago where my dog got into something they shouldn't have gotten into, and we actually called the poison hotline, and they directed us what to do. And after 3 days in intensive care in the hospital, we were lucky we got her back. But it could be as simple as the things, because certain things, especially for animals, and for instance, foods we eat, certain dogs, or dogs can't have certain foods that we eat, and it's deadly to them. But poisons, as far as, you know, stuff we keep in our cabinets and under the sink and stuff, we gotta keep them away from our pets and our kids. So thank you. So with that, we move to these, let's see what I have to do. Approve the minutes for the regular cow and executive session of February 22nd, 2022, 2/22/22.
Everybody was present.
Okay, need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, so with that, we turn it over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Our annual Easter egg hunt is scheduled for April 11th at Johnson Park on the turf field. Please look for details at hackensack.org. Slam Dunk the Jump is scheduled for April 30th. Registration started on March 1st. Organizations that wish to participate must register at hackensack.org/slam. PSE&G offered a utility grace period during the pandemic, which ended on December 31st. All unpaid utilities will be terminated this month as a result. Please refer to our social media platforms to take advantage of any utility assistance that PSE&G may be offering for those who are having trouble paying their bills. The Hackensack Health Department will host a kickoff event for Hackensack Walks on Wednesday, March 30th at the Recreation Center. Join Hackensack for a 6-week community weight loss challenge. Please refer to our social media for additional details. For those residents that would like to take advantage of our shred event, the city has scheduled our next event to be on June 25th. Please mark your calendars. And then finally, the city is happy to announce our participation in the Lewis Bay Second Future Municipal Leaders Scholarship Competition, open to juniors and seniors at the high school level. Applications are available in the city clerk's office and at the high school. The deadline for submission is March 18th. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you very much. New business, resolution 106-22.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 9-2022, an ordinance amending chapter 32, section 9 of the Code of the City of Hackensack relating to the duties performed and compensated paid to Class 1 special law enforcement officers. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion, please.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll. This is just to open it to the
Oh,
public.
sorry, aye.
Okay. Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Seeing no members from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Same.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 9-2022 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 107-22.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 10-2022, bond ordinance providing for the Clay Street and Anderson Drainage Area Combined Sewer Separation Project, by and in the city of Hackensack and the county of Bergen, state of New Jersey, appropriating $14,500,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $14,500,000 in bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion, or anybody from the public who'd like to speak to this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Seeing no members of the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 10-2022 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 108-22.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 11-2022, an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 93 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, garbage, rubbish, and refuse, regarding snow and ice removal from dumpsters serviced by the City of Hackensack. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion, please. Open to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to Resolution 108-22, an ordinance? Seeing no one from the public, motion to close the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen, the State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 11-2022 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 109-22.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 12-2022, an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 5 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, Chief Financial Officer, to establish that the Chief Financial Officer shall also serve as the city's Director of Finance and to further establish the duties of the position. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anyone from the public who'd like to speak to this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Seeing no members from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 12-2022 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Okay, thank you. Resolution 110-22.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 13-2022, an ordinance adopting 123 Anderson Street redevelopment plan for the delineation redevelopment area consisting of block 425, lot 1.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 13-2022 is introduced, is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on March 22nd, 2022, at 8:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter, as a matter to be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law, with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 111-12.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refund for state board judgment, duplicate payments, and paid in error.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 112-22.
This is a resolution endorsing the city's amended housing element and fair share plan.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 113-22.
It's a resolution authorizing the approval of the amended affordable housing spending plan for the city of Hackensack.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 114-22.
It's a resolution authorizing the adoption of an amended affordable housing affirmative marketing plan.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 115-22.
It's a resolution authorizing the settlement of litigation entitled City of Hackensack versus Land Frank LLC et al., pending in the Superior Court of New Jersey Law Division, Bergen County, docket number BERL 744-22.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 116-23.
This is a resolution authorizing license agreement to permit encroachment within BCUA easement area.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 117-22.
Resolution authorizing transfer of 2021 budget appropriation reserves.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 118-22.
This is a resolution authorizing the 2022 temporary budget appropriations.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. That was,
We're up to resolution 119.
resolution 119-22, sorry.
That's okay. It's a resolution authorizing award of change order number 4, which is final, to HBC Company, Inc. for Main Street traffic signal improvements.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 120-22.
A resolution authorizing award of contract for engineering services 2022 road resurfacing program.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Resolution 121-22.
This is a resolution authorizing award of bid contract to Marv Waterproofing, Inc. for the Atlantic Street parking garage renovation project.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 122-22.
The resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
I will abstain on that one. Okay, so we come down to the consent agenda, which only has 2 items on it tonight. I know we have, Mr. Carroll might have a conflict. Anybody else have a conflict of these 2 resolutions on the consent agenda? No, so let's just read them separately.
So I might as well just read them both separate. Resolution authorizing governing body certification of the annual audit is resolution number 123-22.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. And then resolution 124-22.
This is a resolution authorizing the award of state contracts for police body worn cameras, technology service plan.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Abstain.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, pretty quickly. With that, the motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, anybody from the public who would like to speak, please come forward, give your name to the clerk, whether you live in Hackensack or not, and you will have 3 minutes. Do you have the clock ready?
Thank you. That's
I got it.
Got it? Okay. You could have taken a shortcut, just went through the aisle. How are you, man?
I'm just saying the walk seemed longer tonight. Good evening, everybody. Reverend Carolyn Davis, Hackensack. I just have a question, and I thank this city manager for responding to me on this issue. The housing, senior citizens buildings in Hackensack, are they under the city or the county?
They're city, but I think most of them are also state. But I
Okay.
know they're,
I just had a health question, and I know the city manager's gonna remember this. There is an apartment in one of the housing authorities, like a relative lives in it. There's mold in that apartment. There's been mold in that apartment for quite a while, because that apartment in the bathroom, there's no vent. So they're constantly having mold. My question is, it's my brother-in-law, and he has had to clean up the mold. He was told it's his responsibility, even through the health department. So I'm just trying to find out what can be done about that, because I don't think it should be the citizens' responsibility to clean up mold that they haven't caused. That's because of the way the apartment is constructed. And he was told that when they came in, it's because his apartment is the only one that doesn't have a vent in the bathroom. He has a wife that's, sickly. So I just want to find out what can be done about that, where to look for that, what the laws and rules are.
I'd like to see if it's under our housing authority, if that's who's running it. Can you find out the information on this? And-
I think that we
Just
found
if
out.
you
I think that's what I
What's that?
found out, yeah.
And
But
if
that's
that's
not
it,
the
they need to
city.
deal with that. They need to get, and you're 100% right, because in the old days, they didn't have exhaust fans in bathrooms, and mold was a bigger issue.
Right.
Now that we have exhaust fans in most of our bathrooms, it definitely helps. But, so that should be taken care of.
It's, I'll have to get it for you again. It's on Kansas Street, but I don't remember the exact number. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good evening, my name is Bridget, resident, State Corporate of Hackensack. I'm here about a newspaper article on March the 1st of 2022. There was an article in the North Jersey newspaper speaking on the Lochte project, which will include affordable housing. But it wasn't the article, it was the statement that was made by the deputy mayor that caught my attention, as well as some of the stakeholders and community. This is her quote. "We want to meet our requirement. We want to meet the needs of the community." And she says, "We are going to continue to look for more affordable housing as we move forward." So since you spoke on meeting the needs of the community, and so I would like to suggest to you that you should present the IZO ordinance with residential preference to your colleagues. So this way, we could have avoided all of this if you had did your due diligence in the beginning with the first 3 redevelopment projects to include affordable housing. So now I want to see just how truly you care about community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rooker. Anyone else in the public like to speak? Seeing no members of the public, motion to close the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, Seth?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I think it is, can you hear me? Oh, I'm sorry. As the mayor mentioned earlier, it's nice to be back in person. It's nice to be able to enjoy each other's company, and have conversations face to face. Yeah, just nice to get back to the old times of being together. So that's one plus. Earlier during the committee of the whole meeting, Erin from Suburban reviewed the status of the sewer projects, as well as some of the city parks improvements. Things are still moving along. It's great to see all the progress, on a bi-weekly basis, and it's exciting to see it up here, and hopefully everyone appreciates being able to visually see it, because I know it's nicer when you can see on a map and see what's going on. Earlier, I also discussed the Access for All committee, and kind of looking at different ways we could help our citizens with varying needs and varying abilities. So if anybody has any ideas or would like to become involved in that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I think it'll be something exciting, and we appreciate our current members, and we're just hoping to kind of look at a new way to roll it out and get more people involved in that. Vinny mentioned earlier some different activities coming up. Hackensack Walks is an activity that the rec department is rolling out, and it's going to be a weight loss challenge, and try to get our residents involved in walking and being able to spend time together, especially after COVID. So definitely check in with the rec department on information on that. Baseball of Hackensack and softball of Hackensack extended their registration. I believe, Mr. Carroll's the 14th, I think, 14th, so we extended another week. So if you know any kids that want to join softball or baseball, it'll be open, and we're also looking for volunteers to coach or help coach. We know that it's hard to commit time nowadays with work schedules and multiple obligations, but even if you could assist, you don't have to be a head coach, but just to be there to help. And the little ones need help getting their helmets on and things like that, so any way you could help, we appreciate it. The annual Easter egg hunt is going to be on April 11th at Johnson Park at 4 p.m., so that's exciting. And happy National Women's History Month. Thank you to all our strong women who continue to work hard, who continue to be wonderful role models, who continue to volunteer their time to make a difference. We appreciate it very much. Special thanks to Kathy, Debbie, and Allison for your dedication to the city, as well as all the women in the audience here tonight who volunteer their time to come and make a difference. So appreciate it, and have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, Seth.
Thanks, Seth.
Yes, International Women's Day and Women's Month. And again, congratulations to all the women in the city. Everyone here that works for the city, and folks that are sitting here tonight, our clerks, Councilwoman Westberg, everyone does a wonderful job, and it's what keeps our city functioning and moving in the right direction. So again, nice to be recognized as part of Women's Month. We appreciate all that. As usual, I'd like to just talk quickly about a couple of things that are near and dear to me. The sewers, a lot of the sewer work, and the engineering work, and also anything to do with redevelopment. So looking at the stuff that's on tonight for the sewer work, it was a final approval of the final adoption of the ordinance for the $14.5 million that continued work in the sewer initiative. Last council meeting, there was, I gave a rather lengthy explanation, and so did during the committee of the whole, so did Ryan from our project engineering. So anyone that wants more information, it's all online, the video, take time to take a look at it. But basically, in a nutshell, that money is pretty much divided or includes both the work that's going on to support the areas that we've come to call the Clay Street area, where the water was going to Essex Street, and the Stanley or Dan Street area, where the water was going to Anderson. So this is the next phase of helping alleviate those problems there. Also on here was a couple of resolutions having to do with easements, both from involving Toyota, which is right outside Fashini Park on River Street, and also dealing with the BCUA, which also has easements that run through Fashini Park. Again, part of the same plan to alleviate flooding is, to have larger diameter pipe run through Fashini, so we now have a new outlet to this water, so we don't see the flooding and the backups that we've seen. So they were both on here tonight as well. Things dealing with redevelopment, there was a redevelopment plan tonight on for 123 Anderson, to just acquaint yourselves, that's the corner of Anderson Linden. If you think of that shopping center, I believe Walgreens is in there now and a couple of other stores. So that's looking to be redeveloped, and the redevelopment plan designates a maximum of 320 units plus some retail that will be going into that particular area. There was also 3 resolutions on tonight about affordable housing. One was an amendment to the plan, and basically the guts of the amendment to the plan is initially when we submitted, we had 3 particular projects that were going to compromise the 60 units that we were negligent for to satisfy our commitment to affordable housing. So we had those try as hard as they could. Those 3 projects did not come to fruition, and fortunately we were able to find in Lot T where we can meet the requirement with the full 60 units. Again, to clarify the comment about my comment in the record, the question was asked, well, now you've met your 60 units, so as a council, you're done with affordable housing. And the answer to my question was that we were not, that we are continuing to look for additional affordable housing as we meet the needs of our city. And that's really what entails the next 2 that are on. The other 2 resolutions on here talk about a spend plan for affordable housing. And pretty much that's another part of this whole process. And what we're required to do is say how much money we have now in the trust fund and what we anticipate we'll have by 2025 and how we plan to spend it. So pretty much when you're looking at those plans, you look at, we have something estimating $2.5 or $2.6 million committed now in the trust fund or to the trust fund. And we expect that to grow by 2025 to just a little under $6 million in that neighborhood. And basically, the spend plan is spending that money towards building more affordable housing. So that's the commitment, and that's, again, what those other 2 resolutions outlay and define here in the plan. I want to thank everyone for coming, and glad to be back in person. I agree. You know, maybe I miss having pajama bottoms or sweatpants bottoms on, but it was nice to get out and nice to be present and feel somewhat normal again, folks. So we hope to see you again next time. Thank you.
Well, I am glad to see everybody here, and it's like that's the normal way. The police department, and thanks to the city manager, is enforcing the no double parking in Main Street. We need our residents to comply. We continue with the paving programs. We are really close to go to bid for the project in Johnson Park. So maybe finally we have this particular facility for the journal of our kids. We have a meeting to improve the remove for the snow in our city, but we need the residents to comply with the try to use the parking spaces and the way our DPW people can do their job. Thank you for coming. Good night.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm very pleased with the progress with our parks, getting their reconstruction on its way, as well with our recreation department. I'm happy to see people back in person again, and thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Jared. When I opened the meeting, spoke a little bit to COVID, and I gave you some numbers. Over 10,000 Hackensack residents have contracted COVID, and we've had 199 deaths as of today. Though those numbers are true, they can be a little bit misleading, and this is why I say this. The 10,418 cases of COVID are documented. Over the last 3 to 4 months, we've had how many people do self-testing and do become positive and are sick, and they deal with it, and hopefully they didn't get too sick, and after 10 days or so, they went back to their lives. So there's hundreds and hundreds, if not at least 1,000 more Hackensack residents that probably had COVID that we don't know about, because there's those folks, you know, if you took a test, you didn't feel well, you tested positive, 5 days later you were fine, and you went back to your life, nobody's reporting that. It's not reported to the state. So the numbers are a little bit skewed. We don't, there's no way for us to monitor that. And on the death side of things, the 199 folks, yes, they had COVID when they passed on, all right? But also, if you were in a car accident, for instance, and unfortunately perished, and when they either went for an autopsy or, they would check you. If you had COVID, even if it was a mild case, they listed that as a COVID death, even though COVID didn't kill you. So it's, the numbers are skewed. So I like to think the 199 is a little bit lower, because I hate to think of our residents dying from COVID. But this is where we sit right now, 10,418 cases and 199 deaths. So hopefully those numbers hold and we don't see an increase anytime soon. I want to speak about our youth sports, particularly volunteers. You have 4 people up here right now who actually spend a lot of time in their lives volunteering for youth sports. Mr. Carroll actually made a living coaching and teaching. Leo has been involved with soccer for 40 years.
Yeah, 50 years.
40 to 50 years. Stephanie Von Ludenberg right now is in the middle of her young children, and she's assisting with coaching, and her husband helps coach as well. The problem is, when I look back to the day, and I related this to Jerry before, back in the day when Jerry and I were coaching together in the same baseball fields and Little League and stuff, there were a lot of volunteers, all right? That's not the case today. It's very hard to get people to go out and give up their time. Parents are busier today, they're working more, there's more working moms. It's very hard. But it's, city manager was a coach as well, that's right. Still is. So, here's the deal. Number one, I can tell you, for every one of us sitting up here that were coaches and volunteers at that level, the reward you get from that is incredible. So for those people out there, if you are watching this on YouTube, the reward is, the best days of my life was coaching my kids and their friends and watching them grow into young men and women. And it's just one of the best feelings you can have. But our kids need volunteers, all right? So if you're out there and your kid's playing ball, put some time into it, all right? Lend a hand. Become a coach if you can. If not, help around the fields, help around the snack bar. There's plenty to do. I'm happy to say that we just lowered the baseball and softball fees from $130, which was high for people in Hackensack to afford, to $50. Our sports program, we need to get the kids back on the field, get them off the couch playing Fortnite or whatever they're doing and these video games, and get them out, get them in the fresh air. This is what they need. This is especially after the last 2 years of what they've gone through. We talk about heroes. We talk about our EMS people. We talk about the cops, the firemen, nurses, all the healthcare people. Yeah, they're heroes. Of course they are. But you know who the real heroes are? Our kids. Our kids had no say in any of what had just happened over the last 2 years. They were just thrown into this crazy world of this pandemic, and their whole lives were changed. They didn't get to see their friends. They didn't get to socialize. Their faces were hidden by masks everywhere they went. It just was not fair to the kids. I feel, as this pandemic hopefully is coming to an end, I think our children are the biggest ones to suffer through all of this. And we need to get them back out and back into a good life. So with that, thank you for coming out tonight. It's great to be back. Hopefully, like I said, this pandemic is on its way out for good. Keeping fingers crossed. And have a safe trip home, everybody. Thank you. Need a motion to close the meeting, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.